Afternoon, Matt, James, and Tamsin from Addison Precision Engineering Limited. Great to speak to you this afternoon, and thank you for agreeing to do a bit of a case study with us for both from Addison Engineering's perspective and obviously Tamsin and James as two of the delegates who came on the training course. So if I just ask you to do a bit of an introduction each, is that okay? So what's your name and which area did you come through the Skills Bootcamps from?
Well, my name's Matt. I'm the scheduler here. I'm also in charge of the apprentice training regime. I've been in the company for 4 years. So Addison Precision is a medium-sized subcon machining facility. We've got 50 employees. 8 of them are apprentices, and going forward, we probably want to get more into the additive as well as the conventional means of machining. So that's why we had a look at your courses and we sent the guys on that. And yours, James.
Brilliant.
I'm
Thank you, Matt.
I'm James. I'm a CNC machinist apprentice. I've worked at Addison for a year now. I'm loving it. I've loved getting into the additive as well. I really wanted to get involved with the 3D printing side of things.
Real. Thanks, James.
Hi, I'm Tamsin. I'm on the second year of my apprenticeship. We enjoy doing the conventional machining, but Addison is moving forward, so it's great to get involved.
Brilliant. Thanks all. I think some really interesting perspectives there. You know, it's a complementary tool. It doesn't replace CNC, but it really complements it. And James, certainly, if you look at the hybrid machinery where the part CNC and part additive for real efficiency, that's where this ends up. Basically, it doesn't replace it; they just complement each other. And as tools, you know, it's another tool in your toolkit. It's brilliant, you know, the precision work you do, how this can supplement that and support it through additional technology. So thank you for that. I'm obviously Paul Bullock. I'm one of the directors at 3D 360 and we deliver the Skills Bootcamps program. So why did you decide to do a Skills Bootcamp? So Matt, if I ask you first for Addison Engineering perhaps, and then James and Tamsin, if you want to jump in. So it's more directed at Matt, I think.
Well, for me, the course came up and it was one of those, with everything that's going on with 3D printing, it was a no-brainer. Yeah. We did have a couple of 3D printers. I wouldn't say they were industry standard, I'd say they were more beginners. Yeah. But the work that was coming off those 3D printers has kind of changed the game in the last year. We've been making fixtures, marking out jigs, work holding devices. Yeah. And what we're finding now is it's completely changed the way that we think. So whereas in the past we'd say, oh, we need to make a fixture, we made drawings of this, that, and the other. Now the drawing is the model, is the 3D thing. So we can think about something and make it within hours.
It's really interesting. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, which is great because we're so impatient.
Yeah, and we are in industry, you know, we have to be. We have clients asking stuff. We need to be competitive, you know, that's really key. It's 30-day lead times seem short until you're sitting there waiting for that piece of equipment or that mold tool or jig or fixture, and being able to get them overnight. It was a really interesting point you make on holding fixtures. You know, you've already got your CAD model, it's just a negative, you know, and there's even a feature in the software to produce that, you know, so you get him for one CAD model, you get the efficiency of the part and then the special tools, test equipment and holding jigs that you need to manufacture that or to support manufacture of it. I think it's fascinating and it's great if sort of even on the beginner machines, you can see there the potential that additive brings and the potential that technology brings, and it's really great to visualize it. So probably more one for James and Tamsin here. Did you enjoy it? What did you enjoy that program?
Yeah.
It was very good. It was good to get a mixture of everything as well. I liked doing the CAD as well as learning about Cure. It was all very, very good to learn.
Brilliant. And I think a good question is, you know, obviously we talk about 3D printing a lot. There's a lot of other good technologies that part of industry 4 that form that. So the supplementary tools, CAD is massively underrated. CAD is a brilliant tool. And then the potential, perhaps, you know, some of the VR and the cyber to bring them back into the business as well, and see that we tend to see companies build them up. So Industry 4 is a selection of technologies. It's great to start with additives, great to start with CAD, and then realize we need a cyber element for this, or we can use the CAD there for a VR, an AR model, a training model, or even a training immersive video. So it's great. These technologies just sort of build up really and compound. So did you find there was other parts of the course that you could see how they go together to make the Industry 4 system?
Yeah, everything linked, and it was a good insight because whatever we do here also links back to college as well.
Brilliant.
So it was like a big Christmas present. Everything was just handed to us. It's
great that, because it doesn't sort of naturally fall into the curriculums, which is why we have these extra programs. But obviously for I presume you use OneFile and the likes at college, you know, for that evidencing of those skills, it's really important, you know, that we build up these vocational skills as well, and, you know, become the champions of that in our respective companies. Brilliant. That's great to hear. Thank you for that. So are you already using the skills from the course? Do you Matt, you've obviously talked about additive, but James, are you getting stuck in as well? It's a question for both of you really, for the company and for the individuals. Are they being utilised? I know you've put quite a few apprentices through this, Matt, so there's clearly some value in that, but are you applying it? Are you really seeing that value?
I wouldn't say we're applying it as much as we can't live without it anymore.
Wow.
So we've got to the stage now where the other apprentices have come off the course, and we've asked them to do a job, and they've actually gone away and made a machine that would do the job for them.
Wow.
And that is the waterfall for me. That is when they said, well, we can make our own tools to do this boring, horrendous, dirty job. That's new when you was on a winner. But it's like,
yeah,
the thinking of it is everybody kind of thinks in such a different way now. It's like, well, why should I do this when I can get a machine to do it for me? Which is the philosophy of a machinist.
Yes.
A machine will do this better than I. Well, they can think, well, if I 3D printed this, then we could hold it like that, and we could get a robot to do it. Or there's all these different things, and it opens up. And not just the way that we do part marking or fixtures or anything like that. We're actually changing methods of manufacture. The jobs that we've been doing for 20 years have changed completely in the last 6 months.
Wow.
So, and that's all down to 3D modeling and the fact that we've got, guys that are younger than 21 completely changing our factory and the way that we manufacture, our method of manufacture. It's amazing.
Wow, I mean, it's incredible. It's great to hear it, but and we know it because we're immersed in it every day. But it's really good to hear that feedback, and we talk about it being a new paradigm. And you know, I'm a consultant engineer by trade, and I used to say to my teams, forget what you know. You know, this is a whole new technology. It's a new way of thinking, and that ability to de-risk the supply chain, like you say, have those machines ready in house, or those negatives of the model, to be able to get them without risk, without the supply chain, without ships getting stuck in the Suez Canal or major pandemics. It's invaluable to business, you know, to really de-risk it. Outstanding. Thanks, Matt. Did and James and Tamsin, same question. Are you really seeing the same? Is that something you've been able to see, you know, a bit more diversity in your day-to-day as well?
Yeah, we've already started using CAD modeling a bit more. We've started programming our own jobs. We recently produced one from start to finish, so we programmed it all, and then modeled it, programmed it, and then machined it.
Brilliant. Again, we hear the term digital twin bandied around a lot, but it doesn't really sink in how important that is till you've got one, till you've got the CAD model of something. All of a sudden you can do anything. Fantastic to hear. So what are your next steps, Addison? Matt, are you looking to develop that side of the business a bit, bring in more capability to reduce a bit of risk, train more people up? What's the next steps from here, do you think?
Well, the definites are we intend to carry on taking 2 apprentices on per year.
Wow.
Every
Fair play.
apprentice will go through the 3D course with yourselves. We do have 2 pretty top flight 3D printers.
Good stuff.
I won't say they're working 24/7, but when they are, we're quite happy to get another one.
Yeah.
They're churning out some good stuff. I mean, from little things like tool holders and like things that we forget, like, I don't know, things that hold your pen onto your desk on the workshop, or things that hold your 16 ruler whilst you're measuring something else, little things like that. So yes, we're going to keep that side of it going. Will we ever become a 3D manufacturer? We don't know yet. I think everybody in engineering will.
Yeah.
But basically, what we're going to do is, now that we've got the foundations and we've got 4-5 people trained in this, this is the bedrock now, and at least we can ride the wave as it goes on.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, we hope to invest in it a lot in the future.
It's great to hear, and I think from a technical perspective, where this goes, especially for some of the real heavy duty parts that you're going to use, and some of the really precision stuff that Addison Precision Engineering's renowned for, you'll create near net shapes using metal additive. And then when you're doing the CNC machining for facing or boring or doing those tolerancing parts, you're wasting very little material. That's where that goes, and it becomes hybrid. And I think this is something certainly, James and Tamsin to look at, really, how that really aligns from modern technology. You have both machines in one. There's companies called Mazak and Haas who make these, and you get literally the best of both worlds. The machine isn't full of cutting fluid and swarf because you're only really sort of facing or boring, and it's efficient. Ultimately that's a really efficient way to produce parts, to just ship the part you need. I'm sure we've all emptied a CNC of its waste, and if you can reduce that, it's big and important. Brilliant. And so just the last question, really, would you recommend the Skills Bootcamps program to others?
From a management point of view, yes, definitely. We've got 5 guys now that within a week went from knowing about it to basically being able to come back here and teach lessons on it.
Wow.
Not only that, we've got some guys that have been working here for 20-30 years that our younger guys have taught them how to use it. Now they're having a go, and some of them are staying late and having a go. So we're finding that it's changing minds, not of just the people that have been on the course, but other people that that haven't. So yeah, for me, it's invaluable. Yeah.
It's a super endorsement, that, and I think it's credit to the 5 apprentices that have come on this training course. We train in a train the trainer style. We hope that people will go back and then be the champion of that and help train the other staff. And it really sounds like James, Tamsin, and the rest of the team who've done this have really brought that back home and really developed it in-house. And I think that's just fantastic to hear. James, Tamsin, to put you on the spot, would you recommend it, separately to your friends or other companies, people at college? Is this something you feel has value?
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely in the workplace, because everything's moving forward, but even for like personal enjoyment, just to go home and see what you can create.
It is. I don't want to show you what I've got behind me here. I'm always creating and making, and I do some crazy things. It's Christmas presents at the moment. I'll let you into a little secret. But thank you for that. I think brilliant, just to where we talk about using it as a tool for making tools. As an apprentice at Sellafield, we had to start off in the machine shop. And one of the ways they taught us, if we needed a tool, cutting tool, anything, we had to make it. Whatever we were making, we had to make the tool to make it. And it puts you into a brilliant mindset. And I think this is what, it's a brilliant opportunity for James, Tams in the early careers to see that and do that. And it really adds a paradigm to manufacturing, that you're never stuck. Even if you haven't got the tool, it doesn't stop production. So I think that's brilliant feedback as well. So thank you very much for your time. Is there anything you guys want to add? I'm conscious you're obviously busy people. So if there's anything you'd like to add, great. If not, I'd just like to thank you for taking your time this afternoon and having a little bit of a chat with us for the greater good, so we can perhaps incentivize companies and other early careers to come on the program, you know, to feel confidence in it and use the Skills Bootcamp system as a springboard that it's designed to be.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Right,
Well, brilliant. Well, thank you all for that.